Hey guys, tonight we find ourselves in the heart of the ancient Roman world, stepping into the realm of steaming baths and grand echoes. Picture this as you delicately place your bare foot onto the warm marble floor. A gentle steam rises to embrace your skin, creating a surreal mist. The domed ceiling above catches the steady sound of chattering voices, forming a symphony of relaxation and social intrigue. Welcome to the Baths, Rome's second heart, a place pulsating with life and stories you may not believe. You probably won't survive this bustling experience without a sense of awe, so immense is its grandeur. But wait, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Sharing your location and time would be delightful, adding more voices to our journey. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. As you step deeper into this world, the richly detailed mosaic tiles catch your eye. Each piece has been hand-laid with precision, displaying mythical scenes from gods to gladiators, all with the intention of impressing and educating visitors. Historians still debate whether some of these tiles were crafted by famous artists or merely local artisans with grand ambitions. You move past a group of men deep in conversation, their speech weaving tales of politics, markets, and the latest community gossip. This communal hub is not merely about cleanliness. It's a place of ideas and connections, a kind of social network without the Wi-Fi. Here you are as likely to bump into a senator as you are a merchant or soldier, each patron wrapped in simple white towels, marking their equal standing at least until robes are donned to exit. Inhaling deeply, you catch the faint perfume of Strigil oil, a mix of olive oil, and other scents used in the vigorous process of cleaning the skin. It is a sweet reminder of how these rituals blend pleasure with practicality. A splash in one of the Caldarium's hot pools sends droplets onto your arm. They sizzle briefly against your skin, but the warmth is more reviving than startling. This room filled with intense heat allows you to relax until the next station calls. Wandering further, you notice the Tepidarium, a warm but milder chamber that invites you to acclimatize before or after the hotter baths. Here, under the soft glow of lamplight shadows, dance gently on the walls, creating serene and rhythmic patterns that lull your senses. It's interesting to note that the way light filters through the baths aids in stretching time, making minutes feel like serene hours. Steam rolls languidly across your path, carrying whispered hints of conversations around distant corners. You find yourself imagining the stories, crafting images of the lives touched by this ancient spa. Among the more surprising rumors is one of the renowned General Mark Antony allegedly showing off his horse's dexterity in a contest with high stakes. Whether this anecdote hides a shadow of truth or merely serves as entertainment, who can say? Every rumble of water and hum of chatter seems uninterrupted, yet the calm remains pervasive. Bath attendees deftly manage the brazier-fed hypocaust system, with fires that flow beneath the raised floors, channeling heat around the various rooms, a masterpiece of ancient engineering. As you move past, occasionally you see faint puffs through the floor, cracks a warm reminder of the intricate workings below. With a gentle breeze from the atrium cooling your face, you're led toward the cooler Frigidarium, exhilaration sparking at the thought of an icy plunge. However, it's not just the temperature that strikes your senses. It's the playful faces and sudden laughter at the cold shock that make this space truly come alive. Even serious philosophers are known to gasp and flail in these waters. Eavesdropping on another conversation you overhear, talk of an athlete promoting a new Roman game, akin to what we'd recognize as handball. It's amusing to think that while emperors and speeches graced these halls, simpler joys and recreations held their important place too. With your body refreshed and thoughts lingering pleasantly on the stories and marvels encountered, you find a tranquil corner of the baths to rest. Reclining on a warm bench, eyes heavy, your mind swirls with images of marble and steam. The hum of activity fades gently, whispering secrets of this ancient sanctuary, coaxing you towards dreams of times long past. As the day ebbs away, you begin to nod off, soothed by the notion that here, amid the grand architecture and timeless rituals, you are part of an endless continuum. Imagine the dim glow of the setting sun as you walk through the bustling streets of ancient Rome. Your sandals occasionally scuff the cobblestones, creating a rhythm that melds with the hum of the city around you. The air is vibrant with the scent of fresh bread from nearby bakeries, mingling with the less pleasant aromas of the crowded streets. As you stroll, you feel anticipation building in your chest. Today, you have decided to experience one of the quintessential acts of Roman life bathing. Bathing, you learn, is not simply a matter of getting clean for the Romans. It holds meanings and traditions that run deeper than the clear waters of the famous Roman baths. It's about cura corporis, care of the body. And in this rich cultural tapestry, in which you find yourself enmeshed, this simple act is laden with moral, political, and even spiritual implications. You enter the bathhouse, an architectural marvel that towers majestically with its massive columns and elaborate frescoes. The vestibule buzzes with people of all ages, and statuses, a congregation of sartorial elegance and everyday simplicity. This communal gathering place is a microcosm of Roman society itself. This is not just about hygiene, you realize. It's an experience, one where senators and scholars might exchange philosophies amidst the gentle echo of splashing water, where perfumed oils grace the skin of warriors as much as poets. In the tepidarium, a room filled with warm air that relaxes every part of you, you might overhear talks of the latest political maneuver, or the tales of gods woven into the fabric of their beliefs. It's said that in these warm waters, many disputes have found resolutions, and new alliances have taken root. A burly Roman man catches your eye. His build is one of formidable strength, a testament to the life of both luxury and discipline a citizen of Rome might lead. He motions you towards the Caldarium, a hot and steamy environment where the heat seeps deep into your muscles, loosening knots you hadn't even realized were there. Historians still debate whether the baths were more important for politics or for personal rejuvenation. He muses, wiping the sweat from his brow. You nod in agreement, knowing well that both play a role in this grand social theater. As you reflect on this, you remember a surprising fact. You overheard some Romans believe that bathing warded off evil spirits. The spiritual cleansing was considered just as important as the physical, the two intertwined in a belief system that respected the body as both mortal shell and divine vessel. Passing into the Frigidarium, a plunge into cool waters sends a refreshing shock through your body. Suddenly, any residual fatigue is banished by the bracing chill. Here you see others sitting in contemplative silence, perhaps reflecting on the day's events or charting paths for future endeavors. It strikes you that what you are experiencing is not merely an afternoon activity. It's a reflection of the Roman ideal, where harmony of body and mind is sought after, much like the perfect blend of herbs in a soothing tisane. In a curious twist, you learn that some Romans would even hold feasts within the bath's confines, turning the lines between sustenance and presentation into a blurred art form. Lavish platters of fruits, nuts, and cold water were often shared, reinforcing bonds over both sustenance and story. Once you emerge from the chill of the Frigidarium, towels of soft linen are handed to you. In this moment of post-bathing serenity, you feel a profound connection not only to the refreshingly clean physical self, but also to a tradition that has for centuries been the cornerstone of Roman civilization. As the echoes of the baths fade into the evening air, you realize that you've partaken in a ritual that is both ancient and everlasting. You can almost hear the lingering laughter of old friends, the whispered advice of a mentor, or even the soft murmur of lovers conversing beneath the vaulted ceilings. Each sound blends into a symphony of everyday life, a testament to the human connections forged and nurtured within these storied walls. You find yourself walking back into the night-tinged streets, the air cool against your skin, and your mind alight with thoughts of all you've seen and heard. Under the serene Roman sky, the silvery moon casts a soft glow, making the cobblestones shine underfoot. Each step homeward holds in it a kind of rebirth, as if with each rinse of water and each murmur heard among those walls, you've shed a bit of the old and embraced the new, an act of cura corporis in its truest, most celebrated form. You find yourself in the sprawling embrace of a grand Roman bathhouse, a hub of ancient life where marble columns climb to the high ceilings and the murmurs of social chatter mix with the gentle splash of water. Here, beneath the vaulted arches and intricate mosaics, you step into a different time, where relaxation came in the form of a cherished ritual, reserved not just for cleanliness, but for gatherings of the mind and spirit. The air, thick with the scent of perfumed oils, welcomes you, inviting a deep breath, as you prepare to follow the sequence that has soothed countless souls before you. This isn't just any routine. This is a journey of the senses, a structured dance from cold to warm to hot, a step-by-step indulgence that symbolized civilized leisure and sophistication. You pause for a moment at the edge of the Frigidarium, the room for cold plunges. The water gleams with an icy allure, daring you to make the first move. As you dip a toe, a shiver races up your spine. It's almost as if the pool has heard your thoughts, and with a slight smirk it challenges. Are you brave enough to take the plunge like the Romans of old? Or are you destined to drift through your journey as a modern barbarian ducking the cold? As legacies go, historians speculate that the Romans would judge a person by how comfortably they navigated this sequence. They believed altering it, like starting from the hottest room, was akin to culinary heresy. Just as you wouldn't start a meal with dessert, or would you? They liked their traditions, rituals that hummed harmoniously through their daily lives. With a deep breath, you step into the plunge. At once, the cool water wraps around you, chasing away any remaining warmth from your skin and drawing you fully into the present moment. You emerge, invigorated, a little breathless, ready to follow the path to where the air grows warmer and more inviting, just through the grand archways to the next room. Moving into the tepidarium, the warmth wraps around you like a soft blanket, inviting your muscles to relax after the invigorating chill. Historians often muse about the architectural genius behind these baths, marveling at how they used large bronze cauldrons and subfloor hippocaust heating systems to keep these ancient spaces efficiently cozy and uniform in temperature. It's as if the Roman architects knew just how to balance human comfort with lavish design. Here in this amber-lit room, your footsteps quiet on the mosaic-tiled floor, patterned with playful depictions of sea creatures. A subtle nod to the Neptune-drawn allure of water that defined so much of Roman life. Quirks like these keep historians and archaeologists up at night, questioning whether the sea creatures were chosen to amuse bathers or to invite good fortune during their time in these halls. Now onto the steaming heart of this ritual. The Caldarium awaits the hot steam room where your skin tingles in anticipation. In here, the air is a dense, fragrant balm, enriched with herbal aromas, whispering of wisdoms, both lost and preserved. Whether designed to induce contemplation or simply sweat, this environment flushes your system with heat until your worries drift away like mist against the smooth surfaces of the walls. And as the steam cradles you, you can't help but ponder how ancient tales speak of Romans meting deals in hushed tones amidst such enveloping heat, their voices echoing over the damp, artfully constructed vaults. Some say these rooms offered the perfect cover for secrets and alliances. A historical what-if that keeps experts guessing. Flowing seamlessly from ritual to reflection, you revel in this form of leisure that for the Romans was anything but an ordinary bath. Here stories were told and retold, lessons learned, and histories quietly shaped within the confines of stone and steam, carrying forward their legacy, one meticulously designed ritual at a time. Every step you take in this journey unravels another thread in the tapestry of Roman life. A delicate weave of warmth and camaraderie tinged with the belief that reversing the order denotes less refinement. A gentle jest on their part, you suppose on par with their penchant for elaborate feasts and vibrant forums. As this chapter of your journey winds down, gently guided by the rhythm of these ancient practices, you find yourself feeling profoundly connected to a simpler yet profound tapestry of human existence, comfortably ensconced in the timeless embrace of history's soothing echoes. As you continue your journey through time, each step feels a bit warmer than the last. Beneath your feet, the ancient Roman innovation, the Hippocaust, works its silent magic. Imagine it's a brisk morning in ancient Rome, and the cobbled streets are just beginning to hum with life. You find yourself at the entrance to a grand bathhouse, a place where the Romans came to cleanse, socialize, and sometimes even negotiate politics. You step through the large arched entrance, greeted by the faint echoes of conversations bouncing off the marble walls. You feel the warmth emanating from the ground, as if the earth itself was exhaling a cozy breath just for you. This is no ordinary warmth. It's the ingenious creation of a system that moved hot air underneath the flooring, heating the rooms above without a trace of smoke or visible fire. Roman bathhouses were architectural wonders, you think, with their magnificent domed ceilings and lavish mosaics. As you wander further in, you can imagine the clatter of sandals on the tile floors and the gentle splash of water as bathers move between the different temperature rooms. From tepidarium to caldarium, each room is progressively warmer. An elderly Roman citizen might smile at you, inviting you to join them for a soak. Did you know they'd whisper that it's the slaves working tirelessly below who keep these fires burning consistently? With a curious mind, you wonder about the lives of those who stoke the fires just beneath your feet. Historical records show snippets of their daily tasks, their lives bound to the rhythm of fire and air. Despite the luxuries above these, laborers remained largely unseen, their work unnoted by the revelers in the rooms above. Historians still debate whether these bathhouses also served as venues for secret meetings, or could have been used for medicinal treatments with herbs and steam filling the air. You imagine the whispers of conspirators or the soothing voices of healers coaxing a troubled mind to rest. It's odd, you think, that such luxury and comfort relied on such laborious and often grueling work, like two worlds side by side, one oblivious to the effort sustaining its indulgences. However, not everything about these ancient systems is matter of fact. Among the mosaics and marble, you catch sight of a peculiar hairpin, intricately carved and somehow modern-looking. No one can quite agree why or how such advanced artistry found its way into commonplace items of the everyday Roman citizen. Did these craftsmen look to challenge the conventional? Or perhaps they had far-reaching influences that remain hidden from us. As you continue your stroll, contemplating this various interplay of innovation, social interaction, and mystery, you feel yourself becoming more adept at seeing behind the veil of history. This place, with its layers of warmth, both literal and metaphorical, is an intricate mosaic of lives lived and stories told, all while the quiet genius of the Hippocaust hums beneath your every step. And as you leave the bathhouse's cozy embrace, the air outside feels just a touch cooler in contrast, nudging you gently back toward the familiar comforts of your own world. But before your departure from this ancient warmth, you can't help but reflect on how much history lies just beneath your every footfall. A subtle reminder that while the surface offers its tales, it's the hidden undercurrents that often shape the history we know. Imagine you find yourself in an ancient world where the everyday rituals connect you to the past in the most tactile way. You've stepped into a bathhouse, the air thick with the mingled scents of lavender and rosemary. The marble floors are cool beneath your feet, a refreshing contrast to the warmth of the steamy room. Instead of reaching for a bar of soap, which feels decidedly out of place here, you pick up a flask. It's filled with a rich golden olive oil infused with fragrant herbs. Gently, you pour some of the oil into your hand. The liquid is smooth and carries with it the earthy aroma of the olive groves where it originated. As you rub it onto your skin, you can feel it soften your hands, applying the same nourishing touch to your arms and legs. All around you, others are engaging in the same ritual, each lost in their own world of sensation. In this ancient tradition, olive oil isn't just a luxury, it's a practical choice. Historians have often marveled at the cleverness of these everyday routines. This oil doesn't just hydrate and nourish, it binds with the dirt and sweat from your skin, prepping you for the next step in this cleansing ritual. Now comes the strigil, a tool that feels almost like an extension of your hand. It's a slender, curved implement made of metal, and its design is elegantly simple. You hold it in a firm but gentle grasp and begin to scrape it over your skin, starting from the shoulder and working downwards. The motion is steady and soothing, bringing with it an unexpected pleasure. As you continue, the strigil lifts away not only the oil, but the impurities it has captured, the dirt and dead skin that has accumulated not just from this day, but from many before it. The term oddly satisfying hardly seems adequate. There's something profoundly refreshing about this ritual, a tangible reminder of shedding not just the physical, but perhaps just a little the mental clutter too. Remarkably, this method dates back thousands of years, a testament to its efficacy. Still, some historians debate whether strigils were purely functional, or if their use wove into a larger cultural narrative about purity and the soul. Yet as you move the strigil across your skin, it's hard not to wonder at the symbolism that as you scrape away the grime of the day, you might be scraping away small worries too, leaving a sense of clarity in its wake. You've seen ancient artifacts resembling this tool in museums, and it's fascinating to realize how central such an unassuming instrument once was in daily life. For a moment, consider those who came before you performing the same ritual, perhaps standing in the same spot millennia ago. It's a gentle nudge from history, grounding you in the shared human experience of tending to the body and, by extension, the spirit. The process is methodical but not hurried. Most curiously, each sweep with the strigil seems to clear not just your skin, but your thoughts as well. The rhythmic motion frees your mind to wander back through the day's events, assessing them with a new, lighter perspective. Or perhaps your thoughts drift further back in time, imagining all the stories this place could tell. Even as the application of olive oil and the use of the strigil may seem mundane, They've become a welcome meditation, a space where you find unexpected stillness and reflection. The air around you feels different now. Perhaps the humidity has shifted slightly, or perhaps it's the change within you. Finally, you set the strigil down and take a moment to observe. Your skin feels rejuvenated, remarkably soft, and with that physical refreshment comes a sense of peace. This ancient tradition, a simple yet deeply effective routine, has left its mark not just on your skin, but on your sense of being. Tomorrow you might return again to this place, or you might simply carry the memory of this ritual forward, a small piece of ancient history residing in the modern world. For now, rest in the knowledge that in this quiet, serene practice, you've touched upon a timeless part of human life. As you prepare to leave the comforting confines of the bathhouse, a sense of tranquility accompanies you. The sky outside has begun to change, casting a dim light that echoes the calmness within you. It's a beautiful reminder of how sometimes the simplest of traditions can leave the most profound impressions. In the soothing darkness of a world long past, you drift now, letting go of the day in the gentle cradle of timeless traditions. Tomorrow awaits with its own rituals and discoveries, but for now, let the calm spread through you like the gentle ripple of history itself. As you step into the heart of the Roman baths, you feel the warmth and steam embrace you, a gentle caress that instantly melts away the day's burdens. The soft murmurs of water cascading into the pools mingle with the low hum of voices, creating a symphony of echoes that guides you deeper into the chambers. This is no ordinary bathhouse. It's a veritable cauldron of power and influence where the empire's elite come to soak and scheme. You find yourself amidst senators, lawyers, and generals, their voices carrying secrets wrapped in laughter that bounces off the marble walls. The air is thick with not just steam, but the palpable tension of unspoken deals and whispered alliances. To your left, a senator, his skin flushed from the heat, speaks animatedly to a general, his voice rising over the rhythmic splash of water. They discuss troop movements, but now and then they break into softer tones, perhaps discussing which poet's verses will grace the emperor's next banquet. Historians still debate whether these baths fostered more genuine friendships than political machinations, but you sense that here, personal and political lives are inseparably intertwined. The alliances forged in these chambers could shape the destiny of provinces far beyond the walls of the city. Nearby, two lawyers exchange what seems like playful banter, but experienced ears know better that beneath the surface of their jest lies the delicate dance of legal advice and confidential counsel. You recall hearing about the famous lawyer Cicero, who not only swayed courts, but also bathed in these very same waters, ever eager to glean information or share his oratorical prowess. And there, sitting at the edge, a well-known poet dreams aloud, crafting verses from the rising steam. His words are poetic gems, eagerly devoured by those around him, as much to impress a potential patron as to cement his legacy in the annals of Roman literature. Unusual, too, are the lunch plans being made here. Amidst discussions of alliances and bribery, the topic of food seems almost trivial, yet it's treated with surprising reverence. You overhear talk of exotic spices brought in from far reaches of the empire, shared like prized secrets. A senator insists on fish from the finest coastal vendors, while another praises a newly discovered cheese from the Alpine region, pondering which wine would best accompany it. In this steamy haven, distinctions of rank blur, if only briefly. The future of communities could be maneuvered over something as simple as a shared appreciation for a honey-glazed fig. But historians aren't entirely sure if these culinary negotiations ever led to edible enlightenment beyond the baths themselves. Time passes almost unnoticed as you wander through, catching snippets of Latin and Greek languages flowing together like rivulets into a vast river of discourse. The blend of old and new ideas of conviction and compromise feels soothing despite the undercurrents of tension. You pause by a mosaic detailing a mythological scene, vibrant tesserae catching the glints of flame from the torches lining the walls. It reminds you that just like the intricate artistry, the power play among these influential figures is a delicate balance, not unlike the goat fat trick you heard about earlier, where lubrication came to unexpected use. As you prepare to leave this realm of warmth and whispered strategy, you realize how vital these baths are, not just as a center of cleanliness and relaxation, but as the secret pulse of Roman society. A world where in the mingling of steam and sweat, greatness and folly could both germinate and flourish, bound by the unpredictability of human nature. You exit taking one last breath of the humid air, knowing that just like every visit, this one too might carry ripples far beyond the epicenter of steam and marble out into the vast and ever-changing sea of the empire. The air is warm and soothing as you step into the grand ornate marble entrance of the Roman bathhouse. The sound of cascading water echoes gently through the vast space, mingling with the soft chatter of people experiencing their daily retreat. You glance around, taking in the bustling yet tranquil ambiance, where sunlight filters through an oculus, creating patterns on the smooth surfaces beneath. As you move deeper into this sanctuary, the first thing that strikes you is how this place is much more than a simple place for getting clean. It's practically an ancient version of a spa mall, if you can picture that. Row after row, there are steam rooms with clouds of mist curling through them. You notice a gymnasium just adjacent where people are engrossed in their exercises, lifting weights and perfecting their forms. You wander further and come upon a library tucked into a corner with scrolls and tablets lined neatly along shelves. It's a thoughtful addition. Perhaps after exercising the body, the mind must also be fed. You're fascinated to see people engaging in quiet discussions or lost in the latest thoughts of philosophers, much like how one might peruse articles on their phone today, but with a fair bit less screen time. The aroma of food drifts in from nearby. Your curiosity piqued you. Follow your nose to uncover a variety of food stalls. There is bread fresh from the oven and wine being poured, all contributing to the lively communal atmosphere. Sitting together, people savor their meals, exchanging stories, much like dinner parties you might host or attend, but open to everyone in the community. As you stroll through a lush garden area, you're surprised by the presence of vibrant plant life. Greenery surrounds benches and stone pathways, the quiet swish of leaves creating a natural, serene backdrop. You learn that these gardens serve not just as beautiful spaces, but also as places for contemplation, where statesmen and scholars could think or discuss matters in peace. That's something historians still debate, whether these discussions were more about deep philosophical debates or simply where to throw the best party. A historical fact emerges before your eyes like a treasure unearthed. Many of these complex bathhouses were funded through public generosity or by emperors wishing to curry favor, a gesture of luxury for people centuries past. You draw parallels to how modern establishments still rely on wealthy benefactors for cultural institutions today, making you wonder how much times have really changed. The light sarcasm of it all strikes you next. Here you are in what could be considered sheer opulence by ancient standards, yet people are simply engaging in what would be any given. Saturday, a workout, a bite at the food court, and maybe a trip to the library or the garden center. But then again, perhaps we're not so different, now endlessly searching for tranquility, entertainment, and intellectual stimulation all in one place. You revel in this temporary moment, your senses immersed in this harmonious blend of activity and relaxation. Each room you explore, from the misty steam spaces to the intellectual corners of quiet reading, offers a glimpse into the lives that unfolded here. Each face a mosaic of stories, much like the intricate tiles beneath your feet. With every encounter, you delve a bit deeper into understanding these people, their pursuits, and their timeless quest for both harmony and community. And with that, your journey continues seamless and serene, threading through this ancient marvel that somehow feels surprisingly familiar. As you stroll along the bustling streets of ancient Rome, the vibrant sounds and lively chatter fill the air, inviting you into the heart of the city. Here, towering structures and magnificent buildings tell tales of a society that thrives on grandeur and public spectacle. Among these, the bathhouses stand out not just as places of hygiene, but as the centerpieces of social life. You can almost imagine yourself there, wrapped in a soft, worn toga, with the sun casting a warm glow over the marble-paved avenues. Beyond their impressive facades, the baths were more than mere architectural achievements. They were the social hubs of their time. Most astonishingly, you discover that these baths weren't just reserved for the wealthy. Instead, they were often entirely free or incredibly cheap, provided by the city's elite in exchange for public favor. Imagine this: you're running for office in the bustling corridors of Roman politics. What's your campaign strategy? Build a bathhouse naturally. It seems the key to power was cleanliness, or at least the offer of a good soak. In this captivating world, the baths were a place where Romans from all walks of life could mingle. Politicians rubbed shoulders with merchants, teachers chatted with craftsmen, and all the while steam rose and curled gently through the air. You can almost hear the echo of laughter reverberating against the walls, mixed with the gentle splash of water, creating a symphony unique to these baths. One particularly intriguing detail catches your attention. At the heart of the largest bathhouses, you would find towering statues and intricate mosaics, all strategically placed to impress upon the visitors the grandeur of their benefactor. What's funnier, or perhaps a bit more cynical, is that these elaborate establishments served as both a gift to the city and a subtle reminder of who funded them, their names immortalized in stone, ensuring that while you soaked, you'd remember their generosity. Historians still debate whether these acts of bath building truly swayed public favor, or were just part of the complicated game of Roman politics. The alliance between cleanliness and power runs deeper than the pools themselves, suggesting that the citizens of ancient Rome valued the intersection of luxury and necessity more keenly than we might assume today. As you amble through these ancient halls in your mind, consider how these baths were more than mere stone and tile. They were the embodiment of Roman social order, where the act of bathing was woven into the very fabric of daily life, a tradition supported by the indulgence of those with power. You feel the cool stones underfoot and the comforting embrace of the warm water, letting the scenes of historical bathing rituals wash over you. You might chuckle a bit too at the thought of how this simple act of bathing could be wielded as a political tool in such a grand society. Wouldn't it be nice, you think, if elections today could be won with similar ease, just a promise of a warm bath after a long day? You wander through this world of ancient intrigue, where steam was currency, and the support of the masses could be bought with an invitation to cleanse. It's a humble reminder that even in those marble-floored havens where politics mingled with everyday life basics like cleanliness and community were cherished moments of respite. So as you continue to navigate this ancient cityscape, pondering the motivations of Rome's most ambitious patrons, you feel a sense of continuity, a bond between past and present, where human nature remains beautifully predictable. Tonight, just as you've explored the age-old charm of Roman bathhouses, drifting into dreams filled with whispers of history, you may find yourself reconsidering the meaning of luxury and influence. With the lights dimmed and the gentle hum of life surrounding you, may your imagination journey further still into the tranquil waters of ancient times, cradled softly by the caress of history's tender lullaby. As you wander through the ancient streets of Rome, the sun is dipping below the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the sprawling city. The air is tinged with the faint scent of flowers, likely from the gardens scattered throughout the city. You meander through the bustling market, imagining yourself among the throngs of Romans, feeling the cobblestones beneath sandaled feet, the hum of vendors shouting the day's last sales, and the clanking of carts being pushed to secure positions for the night fill your ears. Taking in the environment, your senses are suddenly captivated by a new aroma. It's a blend of earthy pine rich and slightly sweet, wafting through the narrow streets. You follow it, instinctively drawn by the promise of something curious and comforting. Within moments, you find yourself standing before the entrance of a Roman bathhouse, its grandiose pillars and decorative carvings, a testament to the architectural prowess of the ancient Romans. Stepping inside, the atmosphere shifts. The outside world's chaos fades into the background, replaced by tranquility. The space is designed beautifully bathed in soft light and echoes with soothing distant voices. The air is warm, heavy with moisture, and laden with the scents of lavender oil and roasted pine resin. This olfactory symphony mingles with the faint floral perfume from the women's quarters located discreetly away from the bustling heart of the bathhouse. The Romans, with their affinity for luxury, took their bathing rituals quite seriously. It's said that these public bathhouses, or thermae, were not just places for cleaning, but for socializing, discussing politics and philosophy, or simply indulging in a moment of relaxation. You can almost see the lines of togas draped over benches and hear the murmur of friendly banter echoing against the marble walls. There were usually three main areas in these bathhouses: the Frigidarium, a cold room for cooling off, the Tepidarium, a warm room, and the Caldarium, a hot room, each designed to provide a varied sensory experience. You imagine yourself transitioning from a Frigidarium, shivering as cold water is poured over you, to a Tepidarium, where the warmth begins to seep into your skin, relaxing muscles that have worked tirelessly throughout the day. But don't get too comfortable just yet. It's worth noting that the water purification process in these ancient times wasn't what one might call, well, effective. So surviving a dip in the communal pools wasn't exactly guaranteed disease-free. Think of it as an exercise in ancient resilience. Now, before you let the warm haziness of this scene lull you into dreams, take a brief moment to open your eyes like the video and subscribe if you found yourself enjoying this peaceful narrative. And if you're one for sharing, tell us where in the world you're tuning in from and what time it feels like. You continue deeper into the bathhouse, weaving through its labyrinthine art and architecture. The marble beneath your feet is luxuriously warm from the underground hypocaust, a marvel of Roman engineering, transporting hot air under the floors and through the walls. Sometimes, however, historians continue to probe how effective these systems really were, especially when the baths were filled to capacity. Did they manage a comfortable temperature at all times? The evidence is fascinating yet inconclusive. As you stroll further, the serenity of the environment washes over you, and you find a comfortable spot in the Tepidarium to recline. You bask in the moist warmth, enveloped in the blend of lavender pine and the subtle lingering ember fragrance from nearby incense clinging to the air. Any remnants of stress that clung to your modern-day imagination begin to dissolve away, just like the long-forgotten routines of the sundial that govern these bathhouses' everyday life. Nearby, a group of Romans might be lounging, discussing everything from the latest chariot races to the budding philosophies that were steadily shaping their world. You imagine yourself part of this circle, their debates mingling with the steam as it rises up and disappears into the intricately designed ceiling. In the quiet moments, you might even overhear a bard reciting verses of Ovid or Virgil, or sharing stories that blur the lines between history and myth. Did they truly believe in every tale spun, every god evoked, uncertain myth and reality danced closely together in this storied era? The heat begins to swaddle you like a warm blanket and your eyes grow heavier. Underneath the gentle hum of distant voices and the rhythmic dripping of condensing steam, you feel at the precipice of dreams. The world of marble columns and luxurious oils starts fading, and your mind drifts to a place where stories of noble heroes and legendary beasts take form. Yet amidst this dreamy haze, there is something eternally grounded in these ancient spaces, the fleeting yet profound reminder that while times and technologies have changed, the simple soothing ritual of washing away the day's cares remains a venerable tradition. As your present slips gracefully into dreams, let the gentle ebb of Roman history lull you deeper into rest, a soft lullaby sung by the ancient stones themselves. Amidst the soothing chorus of morning songbirds, you stroll along cobblestone paths, witnessing the first light spill over the ancient city of Rome. The air is cool, crisp, and promises the fragrant warmth of freshly baked bread. It's a tranquil scene as you make your way toward the public baths, an integral piece of Roman life, where people gather for more than just a simple wash. You find yourself at the entrance of a bathhouse known as the Thermae, an architectural achievement adorned with marble columns and intricate mosaics that tell tales from long ago. At this moment, the baths are enveloped in a serene hush, the echoes of footsteps soft upon the stone floors. The early hours offer a rare stillness, as ornate fountains bubble melodiously and remind you of how fleeting this peace might be. Here you might even start to believe that the tumult of daytime could never disturb such tranquility. But hints of daybreaking disquiet await, for when noon approaches, the baths transform. Suddenly a bustling hub of bodies fills every corner, people bathing, chatting, sharing tales and laughter, an audial tapestry on par with the splashing of water itself. You probably won't survive this sensory barrage if you aren't mentally fortified. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, feel free to post your location and local time. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. By midday, you find yourself amid a sea of ancient Romans, each having arrived with a tale to tell or a rumor to spread. The room buzzes like a beehive, conversations overlapping in a complex symphony all its own. You've stepped into more than a bathhouse. You've entered the social nexus of an empire. Patrons are everywhere, from senators clad in pristine togas to merchants chattering noisily about their latest ventures. The pools become pools of stories just as much as water, as acquaintances and strangers alike engage in vibrant debate, sometimes even trading news about the increasing popularity of a curious new culinary delicacy, dormice stuffed with herbs, a favorite among some, but certainly not all. Gossip here flows faster than the water itself, echoing tales of the exotic and the scandalous with equal fervor. In this lively chaos, one might catch a mention of a gladiator's great triumph or downfall tales, which spark enthusiastic discussions and occasionally heated arguments. That gladiator who fought bravely in the Colosseum might still be honored today, though historians still debate whether his final blow was delivered by honor or clever deceit. As you wade through the cacophony You spot artisans and philosophers, the latter often embroiled in academic uncertainties, their discussions reflected in the way they dip their feet in and out of the baths, as if each time seeking a final answer from the water's surface. The warmth of the water seems to soak into your very bones, and you let your mind drift along the rivulets of chatter that cascade around the marble pillars of the bathhouse. Nearby, a group shares whispers about Emperor Hadrian's latest expedition and whether his new architectural projects will be imbued with the grandeur of his prior works. You find these snippets fascinating, their historical weight lingering in the air like a fragrant mist. Amidst this throng, young scholars try to impress others with newfound wisdom, perhaps unaware that some older bath patrons humorously murmur, just as they did yesterday about those young upstarts. There is gossip here too about a new treat, exotic to Rome, a lemon-like fruit named citrus, slowly making its way through the city's culinary circles. The overlapping conversations twist together, creating an almost tangible fabric of community life. This remarkable place serves not just as an escape from the grime of hard labor, but as an arena where Rome's colorful tapestry of life truly comes alive. Yet as you immerse yourself deeper into this world of chatter and warm waters, one phrase lingers. The bathhouse acknowledges no rank, no class, a unique instance in Roman society where individuals from all walks participate equally, their voices and laughter rippling across the water's surface. Perhaps this shared simplicity is what holds its allure, ensuring that whether by gossip or wisdom, every visit here leaves a mark. The day rolls on, and the chatter seems inexhaustible, a testament to human nature's insatiable curiosity and boundless capacity for storytelling. You feel relaxed and connected, soothed by the warm water and vibrant voices, until slowly the sun begins its descent, drawing a curtain on yet another day in this perpetual play of life. You find yourself in a world far removed from the everyday hustle, a place defined by ancient traditions and a rich history that stirs the imagination. The warm air envelops you as you step into the vast Roman bathhouse, its lively cacophony a blend of water cascading into pools and soft chatter echoing off the marble walls. This is a place where time seems to melt away, blending the borders of history and experience into one serene moment. Amid the array of bathing rituals unfolded before you, there are rules as you'd find in any establishment with a pinch of decorum. These good-humored regulations come alive, no shouting, no diving, no staring. The simpler, the better, for ensuring that everyone enjoys this communal escape with a sense of ease. You notice patrons carrying their own towels, a nod to both practicality and personal luxury. It's a delightful twist on modern spa etiquette. The togas come off, and the humble towel takes on its regal responsibility. Meanwhile, a curious tool called the strigil catches your attention. Intricately carved and hinting at tales of hygiene from times long past, it's designed for scraping off oils and dirt in a gentle, satisfying motion. Here's a quirk: you mustn't hog the strigil, an unspoken yet imperative rule to keep harmony among bathers. As you lower yourself onto the hot bench, a whisper of steam climbing through the air around you, a thought crosses your mind. Yes, You're supposed to luxuriate, savor the stillness beneath the bubbling cacophony, but there's no merit in tarrying too long. The heat, though pleasing, should be a guide, rather than a companion overstaying its welcome. Historically, these bathhouses were not merely about relaxation, but also about socializing and conducting business. Bathing sessions were the social media platforms of antiquity. Discussions that likely shaped Roman policies or quelled feuds were held amid these vapors. It's interesting to consider how something as intimate and routine as bathing could influence the great wheel of history. Delightful aspect, however, is the chance for introspection. As you recline, letting the warmth coax your muscles into relaxation, you begin to understand why these places have such allure. It is in this solitude wrapped in communal activity that whispers from history emerge. You become part of the tradition, a subtle participant in this constant performance. No recorded history can definitively pin down what exactly made these places tick as societal establishments in Rome. Historians still debate whether some played a role in political maneuvering as significant as the forums themselves. Yet for all the conjecture and academic frill, one thing remains constant: people found pleasure here, just as you do now. In this steam-filled cocoon, you feel thoughts and stories unfold, like ancient rolls of papyrus, revealing tales of yore. Breathing in the moist air infused with subtle hints of herbs and oils, you feel a connection to the myriad souls before you. Those who, like you, came seeking solace, community, and perhaps a bit of gossip under the marble arches. It's curious how the strigil, a simple tool, incarnates the blend of practicality and artistry. Each person fits their ritual, scraping away not just grime, but the burdens of the day. With each motion, there's the faint promise of renewal, as if you too shed layers of modern stress. As these historical nuances swirl around your mind, you can't help but appreciate the charming complexity of this ancient world. Here, juxtaposed against your surroundings, you're invited to slow down, a reminder nestled in the heart of chaotic ancient living that speaks with an intimacy transcending millennia. Just as it was necessary to bring your own towel, rules of conduct dictated everything from entry rights to where one might converse. Every glance, every word exchanged in this space was enveloped in customs, both written and whispered. Holistically, these rituals were never solely about cleanliness. They encapsulated a lifestyle. You continue listening to the soft symphony of life around you, sometimes feeling like the steam around you carries whispers of the past, fragments of jokes, gentle debates, and age-old wisdom exchanged over centuries. And like the gentle cacophony, time slips languidly on the marble tiles, each second a testament to the timeless allure of such havens. Reluctantly leaving the bench assured by a warm afterglow in your muscles, you understand why the Bathhouse was one of Rome's greatest pastimes. Through rules and rituals, a haven emerges an essence better felt than defined. As you step away from this world of soap and steam warmth, still clinging to your skin, you take with you not just the sensation of the bathhouse, but an understanding of its cultural riches, leaving you strangely rejuvenated and yet wonderfully anchored in history. Ready now to drift off into your own world, You savor the comfort of this shared human experience, the shared ritual of unwinding and remembering. Not quite ready to leave the past behind, the bathhouse engraves its soothing mark onto your present, fitting comfortably alongside all that came before. As you prepare to let your day become a cherished memory, you can practically feel the cool Roman marble beneath your fingertips. The steam, with all its ephemeral sports, wisps gently away, and you listen as it beckons you softly into the embrace of a restful night, just as the ancients might have done in their time. You realize soothingly that restful desires then are the restful desires now. A path of togetherness, solace, and warmth, leading you deeper into the mists, gently swirling back through time, and finding comfort in the roads already traveled by those long before us. In the steamy haze of the baths, you find yourself transported back to a time when the dividing lines of class and status briefly blurred in the swirling warmth of the waters. Rich and poor alike gathered here, their bodies enveloped in steam, the distinctions of wealth and poverty momentarily evaporating in the mist. You step forward, feeling the smooth, damp stone under your feet, guided by the sound of gentle ripples and muffled conversations echoed off ancient tiles. It's a place of respite, one of the few where Rome's rigid social strata seem to wash away, with the very dirt clinging to one's skin. As you move through the vapor, you might spot a senator, his toga exchanged for the simple nudity of the baths, laughing with a merchant who only moments ago traded words about today's market prices. You could brush past a freedman absorbed in thought, having slipped in during the early hours when the light is still gray and soft, hoping to enjoy a rare moment of equality. Historians still debate whether this mingling was truly free of judgment or merely a temporary truce in the war of daily life. Yet there's an undeniable charm to this gathering under one stone roof, where the social order is submerged, even if just for a moment. Here the echo of a slave's laughter might mingle with the chuckle of a man who could own the very water they stand in. Roman society was strict, but the bathhouses were an exception, a melting pot of humanity soaked in steam and silence. The architecture itself is a marvel, each mosaic-tiled pool, a testament to a time when art seamlessly combined with function. As you glide through one of these great halls, it's easy to forget that not everything about these public spaces was ideal. You probably won't survive this, a world as unpredictably rough as it was richly complex. The water, sometimes cloudy, a little too warm, serves as the perfect metaphor for the unpredictable life outside. Yet there's something comforting about its embrace, and the soft hum of voices becomes as soothing as the gentle laps of water. You can pause at a spot where sunlight slants through an opening in the ceiling, reflecting star-like patterns on the water's surface. Imagine a place where, amid the tranquil sounds of drips and ripples, you could almost forget the weight of the world outside these walls. A slave might sit at the edge, admiring the same reflections allowed inside during these less busy hours, their thoughts possibly dancing between the marvel of just being here and the inevitable return to servitude's reality. In this world, there's constant motion as bathers drift from the warm Caldarium to the more tepid waters, then perhaps to a chilly plunge to close their pores. Conversations ebb and flow like tides, some lost to the mist forever, others sparking connections across divides. Within these walls, the latest scandal, a bit of poetry recited from memory, or this morning's wager, could all carry equal weight. It's intriguing to imagine how these shared waters witness the commingling of lives, the fluid exchange of ideas, long before the world knew the concept of a digital forum or a social network. Here in the heart of the baths, there's a democracy of sorts that feels unexpectedly modern, as fleeting as the fog itself, but just as tangible in the moment. It's said that even the great philosophers of the time might find inspiration in such simple, shared experiences, pondering the nature of life and happiness in the same places where political alliances or casual friendships might form. As the hour grows late and the water's gentle caress lulls you toward rest, you can't help but marvel at the unusual scenes you've witnessed. Rich and poor master and servant, a community knitting together beneath rote daily life stitches. You take one last look across the mosaic floors where your journey began, thoughts mingling and merging as smoothly as oil and water. And as you move to leave, a chill might remind you how rare and precious these moments of classless peace are, much like the brief pause before sleep takes you into deeper dreams. In the distance, a faint clatter signals the return to order outside carts. Rattle voices rise in the markets, but that's all minutes from here, perhaps endlessly far from this shared sanctuary. As you walk toward the exit, every step feels a little lighter, every breath a reminder of this fleeting glimpse into ancient humanity's best and simplest connections. And with that, you press forward, tracing these sensations into the gentle drift of your own slumber. The murmuring conversation around you is calming as you step further into the warm glow of bathhouse lanterns. The steam rises like a gentle mist, wrapping you in a cocoon of warmth and relaxation. Your senses are engaged by the sound of water rippling softly, the faint scent of lavender oil hanging in the air, and the occasional splash that echoes against the marbled walls. You find yourself in ancient Rome, where public baths are more than just places to cleanse the body. They're alive with the hum of daily life, a place where alliances are formed, where idle gossip flows as freely as the water. Here emperors, senators, merchants, and commoners mingle, though your status might dictate which pool you choose. Although these baths are mostly meant for men, women do find their own time, often designated separate hours, to enjoy their own sanctuaries of steam and water. The grand designs of the baths, like the splendid baths of Caracalla, inspire you. Yet deep down, you're acutely aware that this wasn't always a harmonious space for everyone. Some emperors, with their strict codes and concern for morality, forbade the mixing of genders in these places altogether. They feared the distraction, the potential for impropriety. But not all emperors cared. Commodus, for instance, was said to have been rather indifferent, leaving it up to personal discretion. Ever curious, you pause and wonder what it might have been like during one of those times when the rules were less rigid, when the whispers in the halls included the laughter of women blending with men. Historians still debate whether such moments occurred more through acceptance or merely through disregard for the rules an interesting conundrum, considering the universality of human nature versus the rigidity of historical record. As you consider this, someone beside you points out an ornate mosaic on the wall depicting playful dolphins and mythic sea creatures. It's a reminder that even in stone, the Romans hold on to the divine whimsy of their myths. Submerged in this atmosphere, you feel the water ease away the day's tension. In this world of steam and conversation, a piece of history unfolds effortlessly with each breath and every soft ripple you cause in the pool. You think back to the separate hours, how they structured their time for privacy and decorum, yet even in their separation found unexpected unity. You imagine the quiet hours for women were filled with secrets and stories whispered among friends, mirror images of the robust debates men had over politics and philosophy. The subtle feminist undertone in these clandestine gatherings sparks your imagination. It makes you wonder what alliances and stories were exchanged in these women-only hours tales, perhaps lost to the annals of history. You relish this moment of peaceful curiosity as the past rubs shoulders with the present here in these baths, just as the temperate water caresses your skin. In this lovely concoction of antiquity and imagination, the echoes of ancient laughter ring in harmony with the rippling water soothing you until you begin to lose yourself in the gentle pace of history unfolding. Here within the lungs of antiquity, history is yours to absorb one gentle moment at a time. As you listen closely, you find yourself stepping into a meticulously maintained courtyard, hidden away from the bustling world outside. The stone floors are cool beneath your feet, and the fragrance of blossoming lotus flowers floats through the air, a gentle reminder that you've traveled to a time where ancient beliefs hold sway over daily life. In this serene setting, you observe a group of priests clad in simple yet elegant robes, preparing for a sacred ritual. Their demeanor is calm, but there's a palpable sense of purpose and reverence surrounding their actions. It might strike you as curious that before any ceremony can begin, these priests must partake in a cleansing ritual, a bath. Yes, for them, the act of immersing themselves in water is more than just a means to cleanse the body. It's an essential pathway to purifying the soul, an act of spiritual preparation and dedication. There's a stunning realization that in some temples, there exist private baths specifically designed for these sanctifying purposes. Historians still debate whether these baths were simple and utilitarian or lavishly decorated with intricate mosaics and adorned with marble. However, one thing remains clear: these baths were a vital part of religious life, seen as sacred spaces where the earthly and the divine brushed against each other in the brief moments of physical immersion. You can't help but become enveloped in the soothing, almost hypnotic routine water, gracefully cascading over a priest's bowed head, steam softly rising in whispers of divinity, lost prayers mingling with the mist. In those tranquil moments, the very act of bathing becomes transformative, lifting away not just the day's grime, but the soul's burdens. While observing, you're reminded of an unusual detail. Some ancient cultures believed that neglecting this ritual washing could lead to disastrous consequences or even attract malevolent spirits. It's one of those historical quirks that still has modern-day echoes. Just think of hotel rooms without a 13th floor, for instance. Don't worry, you probably won't encounter any vengeful specters if you skip your nightly routine. But perhaps the ancient priests harbored a deeper wisdom in connecting cleanliness with serenity. But in this temple, the purity of the body is seen as directly linked to the purity of the soul. A cleansing ritual before engaging in sacred duties was non-negotiable. The priests believed that only through being spotless on the outside could they hope to approach the divine entities they served. As you watch their movements become a dance of devotion, a poignant reminder that while times have changed, the search for peace and clarity remains a timeless journey. The unique echo of your surroundings and the mesmerizing focus of the priests invite you to marvel at how, across the ages, the simple act of bathing could hold such profound significance. It's a tradition that's more than skin deep, reminding you that your own simple habits might harbor unsuspected depths of meaning. In quiet reflections, it's easy to find solace, almost lulled into meditative contemplation by the soft sounds of water and the shuffling of robes, the quiet whispers of belief. Within this framework, bathing becomes not just a routine, but an art, a pause to cleanse not only the exterior, but also the interior, to momentarily set aside the weight of the world. And as the ritual ends, you slip quietly back into your own thoughts, warmed by the understanding that these ancient customs, steeped in tradition and ritual, continue to ripple through time, connecting our daily lives with those of long ago, echoing with the same desires for peace and purity. As you slowly drift towards the end of this journey, let the tranquil echoes of ancient water lull you deeper into serene rest. You find yourself wandering the cobbled streets of ancient Rome, the faint echoes of lively chatter and distant vendors' calls guiding your steps. The atmosphere teems with an ancient charm as stone buildings rise around you, whispering secrets of a world thriving long before yours. Despite the tranquility you sense, there's a note of practical reality, a raw human presence shaped by its time. Everywhere you look, the streets are alive. People bustle in vibrant tunics, magistrates stride with purpose, and children dart through the crowds, their laughter mingling with the braying of donkeys. Rome, in its grandeur, is a city that never truly sleeps. But as picturesque as it seems, you remember that history had its rough patches. The road beneath your feet, smooth and meticulously laid, might just as well have been paved with stories of survival against the odds. You picture for a moment just how the thronging populace managed with nary a drop of chlorine. Yet they seemed remarkably unconcerned by it. Here's the kicker. You probably wouldn't last a week here, not solely because of the peculiar odors and the gritty textures, but because you, like many of today's folk, would miss the comfort of modern hygiene. The Romans, on the other hand, didn't question their reality. For them, water flowing tirelessly through their aqueducts was the epitome of cleanliness. It may seem naive now, but mostly they weren't wrong. Their faith in the purity of moving water stood as a testament to the ingenuity that characterized Roman civilization. Before you get comfortable traveling back through time, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Share where you are watching from, along with your local time, to connect from across the ages. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. As you walk along, you spot the mighty aqueducts feeding the city's fountains. Springs and baths, a marvel of engineering. The sight astounds you, reminding you of the fact that by 97 AD, 9 aqueducts supplied over 1.2 million cubic meters of water a day to Rome. With these intricate systems snaking through the empire delivering clean water became a foundational principle, and you can see why they believed in its purity so fervently. The Romans built these aqueducts with such precision that their slight downward gradients allowed water to remain in constant motion. You wonder how a civilization that thrived so long ago managed to perfect a setup that would look at home in the cities of today. But historians still debate whether the famed Roman ingenuity was the result of one mastermind or the slow evolution of communal knowledge across generations. The luxury of fresh flowing water at one's doorstep must have felt like sheer magic to those inhabiting these ancient streets. As the day wanes, you find yourself in one of Rome's bustling public baths, a place where social class dissolves amidst the steamy air. Surprisingly, you notice the baths have none of the stringent chemical smells you associate with a visit to the pool. Here it's all natural, with steam curling lazily into the air around intricately mosaic-tiled floors. The Romans cherished their baths not just for hygiene, but as centers of social life, a choice reflecting both necessity and pleasure. It seems remarkable to you that such a shared space could operate healthfully without the sterility modern technology demands. And yet, the absence of harsh chlorine doesn't suggest a lack of care. With each reconstruction and retilling of their baths, Romans replenished these grand establishments with fresh, mineral-rich water straight from the aqueducts. Wandering further, the sheer revelry of Roman communal bathing strikes you as something rather inventive. People would lounge and converse, learning the latest gossip or sharing tales. You can almost hear the splashes and echoes of friendly debates rising from the water. Yet just beneath the mirth lies an order to things that you find mesmerizing. There's one aspect of this thriving culture that stands out against the colorful mosaic, an element you fancy hasn't changed much over millennia. Despite the lack of bottles of hand sanitizer or antibacterial wipes, cleanliness was paramount. In every entrance you find small basins of water where guests would rinse their hands, a primitive yet effective routine. Even with all these innovations, there are still tales of infections and the occasional outbreak of illness, a reminder that no amount of innovation was foolproof against nature's microscopic challenges. The great Julius Caesar himself had to ensure clean water access for new army camps, stressing the balance between human needs and environmental limitations. But this enduring problem remains the subject of speculation among scholars as they piece together how such an advanced society handled its unseen enemies. As the evening draws to a close, in the timeless glow of a Roman sunset, you feel the pull of a world evolving before your eyes, a world not yet aware of its full potential, but pushing boundaries with zest and creativity. From the aqueducts that still stand as a testament to human innovation to a societal appreciation for clean water, you find the Romans' approach a compelling blend of insight and organic simplicity. You might find yourself lingering a little longer watching as the day's last light pools atop the cool stone of another bathhouse. It's a space that seems to hold infinite echoes, resembling the water within it, ever fluid, ever changing. You've traveled far in time and space, yet as you stand rooted in this slice of Roman life, you can sense the unbroken continuum, all the world's past, present, and future leading here, much like the water coursing endlessly through their meticulously crafted systems. There's something timeless in how humanity adapts, never failing to find new ways to refresh and renew, even when those ways are often subject to change, debate, and evolution. May these insights flow through your dreams tonight, settling in like the gentle lapping of ancient water beneath the unyielding Roman sun. The warm glow of golden lamps flickers against the walls of a grand villa nestled discreetly amid gardens of olives and citrus, whispering gossip among their leaves. You find yourself in ancient Rome, amid the opulence reserved only for the most privileged of its citizens. Tonight you journey into the private world of Roman elites, feeling the marble cool beneath your feet as you walk delicately through echoing corridors filled with the muffled laughter of a distant soiree. But for now, your path leads you elsewhere to a more serene retreat. You follow a narrow hallway leading away from the clamor of a feast and into a secluded chamber where peace reigns. It's a private bath reserved for the household's most revered members, mirroring in many ways the grand public baths you may have heard about, with their opulent decorations and buzzing social scenes. Yet here, solitude is the master. As the heavy oak door closes softly behind you, the room opens up to reveal a scene that is both magical and restful. A gentle steam wafts through the air, hugging your skin like a delicate veil, scented with the sweet, intoxicating aroma of rose petals that drift lazily atop the water, tinted a pale pink by the light of evening entering through high lattice windows. In this intimate space, where luxury whispers in hues of gold and red, a young woman reclines in the tepidarium, the warm bath a senator's daughter, taking her respite from the world. Her delicate fingers trace patterns in the bath surface, sending petals scattering in delicate ripples. The lamps suspended just above the water reflect off the undulating surface, casting dappled patterns of light that dance along the elaborately plastered ceiling. This bath, with its intricately carved stone and terracotta mosaics, embodies the very essence of Rome's artistry and engineering prowess. Water is fed through pipes, an innovation of aqueduct engineering that remains a marvel considering its time. This private oasis is a testament to wealth, with no expense spared in pursuit of ephemeral tranquility. The atmosphere is imbued with the scent of oils and perfumes, an unexpected discovery perhaps, for you to know they cherished fragrant spaces just as much as modern folk do today. Roman society, famed for its cleanliness and sanitary innovations, regarded bathing as both a ritual of health and an indulgence. Historians still debate whether the Romans were truly the first to romanticize such private moments of solitude, but what remains clear is the dedication to luxury that met them at every turn. Here, away from prying eyes and the demands of high society, time itself seems to pause, allowing for small moments of personal reflection amidst a bustling life. The senator's daughter, a lady accustomed to opulence, as her dew occasionally breaks the stillness, adding drops of oil to her bath from a small vial. It's an intimate ritual. This addition of precious oils, known for their soothing properties, a subtle nod to how ancient practices of relaxation mirror techniques used even today. You wonder if she appreciates these moments of quiet with life's grand ambitions, waiting just beyond the villa's walls. You might be surprised to learn that such private baths were not only a luxury, but a space for intellectual pursuit. Roman women, despite being subject to the era's gender constraints, engaged actively in philosophical thought and study. It was not unusual for these lavish baths to be a setting where ideas blossomed like the petals in the water. As she savors the warmth and solitude, you notice the way her expression shows a balance of serenity and contemplation. Her mind might drift to thoughts of her family's political alliances or the epic tales she studied, stories of gods and heroes intertwined with the history of Rome itself. Such narratives passed through the ages, like secrets whispered from mother to child, a tradition as indulgent as the baths themselves. This elite enclave shielded from the world is a rare treasure. You wonder how often she must retreat here, how each session in the water must feel like an escape, a temporary reprieve from the duties and expectations imposed by status. Perhaps it is only here, amongst the flicker of lamps and silken rose petals, that she truly breathes deeply. The longer you remain, the more the room feels alive with history, a tapestry of tales left untold, locked in the porous stone and delicate mosaic underfoot. The static and vibrant interweave seamlessly the resonance of distant laughter, the melodious decline of water into the pool, the gentle clink as a golden lamp sways gently on its chain. Immersed in this reverie, you begin to feel the embrace of the bath yourself, the warmth soaking through skin and soul, lulling you as if urging you to slip into rest, into the depths of dreams shared with the ancients. You drift there a leaf on water, carried by tales of glory and whispers of eternal companionship, until the real world fades into a softened blur. Your days in ancient Rome mirror the orchestrated rhythm of the city itself, a testament to the steadfast routines of the ages. The mornings greet you with a gentle nudge that draws you from dreams back to the soft hustle of the bustling Roman street. The sun, already warming the golden stones, pours through the small square window, illuminating your modest domus. You rise as predictable as the crowing of the rooster that echoes somewhere distant beyond the nearby villas and avenues, assuring that the morning has indeed arrived. Like the citizens around you, work defines the early hours. Whether you're returning to a small workshop nestled in the busy Bathhouse, where the clatter of tools accompanies the industry of a day, beginning or perhaps tending to your responsibilities in the forum, your tasks hold a vital thread through the tapestry of Roman life. You learn early that the morning is the heartbeat of the city, vibrant and urgent. However unlike the frenzied paces of today's business world, where you might drown in digital to-dos, the Romans understood an essential truth: balance. It's with that wisdom you anticipate the afternoon marked by the sacred initiative of bath time, an exquisite ritual that seems almost dreamlike compared to the early toil. Still carrying its ancient title, balnea or thermae, if you were in the grand settings favored by emperors, the baths serve as a daily staple, no less vital than the bread and olives you enjoy. These are spaces not just of hygiene, but of conversation and community places where deals are struck, friendships are kindled, and occasionally history itself takes a turn. Among the various strata, from the humble plebeian to the haughty patrician, the communal atmosphere of the baths removes some, if not all, of the day's burdens. You witness the transformation as neighbors, merchants, and even strangers shed both the grime of work and the guarded clothing of society, surrendering to the warming steam and soothing waters. Historians still debate whether this precise temporal division work, then baths, was dictated by practicality or preference. The well-documented schedules of certain noble families suggest their bath rituals took precedence over even some matters of state. Could it be that this shared commitment to leisure over labor, at least once daily, cultivated the celebrated Roman diplomacy and philosophical debates that we ponder today? It's in these steamy enclaves that you overhear not just civic discussions, but also whispers of political machinations, and sometimes, just as intriguing, the curious personal tales that swirl around corners. Indeed, one day, your routine visit finds you perchance beside an architect, sketching unconventionally tapered columns, ornately detailed, think slender spiraling nymphs, debating earnestly their possible use in a grand theater, a shock of innovation against traditional designs. Such layered mysteries of human expression dapple even these most institutional of daily proceedings. You learn that the act of bathing at the end of the workday inspires not merely cleanliness, but renewal, a metaphor for life's cycles, the shedding of old concerns in the Caldarium, the hot room and emerging from the Frigidarium, the cold plunge with clarity refreshed. Each element of the bath journey seems to mimic a year's passing or a life's rebirth, a commitment to the ever-flowing stream of time itself. Yet predictability is not synonymous with monotony. The variety in these constructions, with their elaborate infrastructures and luxuries, unexpected from heated floors to healing oils, reflects Rome's genius in embracing engineering alongside elegance. They are as much a marvel as the aqueducts threading the countryside or the uniformity of the Roman road network upon which your own steps have brushed. In these daily rites, you find echoes of stability and community, a bond with tradition as old as the very stones beneath your feet. Even as the forum resounds with the era's liveliest thinkers and doers, it's the sanctuary of the baths that cements social continuity. As you depart, skin aglow beneath the settling dusk, the rhythm of another day softly concludes. The sun casts long shadows across the marble streets, and the scent of baked bread mingles with the evening's cool air. Like all Romans who partake in this ancient course, you are writing your own entry into a history that, while unwritten, unfurls unending as you turn towards home. Through this harmonized cadence of labor and leisure, the eternal city breathes as a single entity each day, an intricate dance, a seamless symphony of living history unfolding in both grand spectacles and simple, unerring routines. With the once mighty aqueducts of Rome now reduced to crumbling relics of stone, the lifeblood they once carried no longer flowed through the city. You saunter through the quiet streets where silence now reigns, in spaces that once buzzed with the laughter and chatter of those seeking the soothing embrace of water. The bathhouses, once thriving as grand social hubs where Romans of all classes mingled, are now shadows of their former glory. You feel the eerie weight of history in the ghostly echoes that whisper through abandoned halls. Historians describe the Roman bathhouses as architectural marvels, temples of hygiene and sociability, where gossip flowed as freely as the water from the aqueducts. You probably won't survive this journey through history unscathed by a newfound appreciation of how luxuries become staples of culture only to fade away with time. Perhaps you pause for a moment to note how strange it is that the familiar sounds of splashing water and revelry have been replaced by the occasional creak of wooden beams, strained by time's relentless march, much like the drying aqueducts. But how did this transformation unfold? As you walk through the remnants of ornate columns and damp mosaics that once shimmered with life, you recall a particular detail about Roman society. The baths were not only about cleanliness, but also about status and social networking. Important decisions were negotiated and conspiracies whispered, all while soaking in the steamy waters. Now left to nature's devices, opportunistic vines creep over marble statues of yore, whispering tales of past glories to the gentle stray cat that accompanies you on your tour of the ruins. However, the decay did not happen overnight. As the empire's coffers dwindled and maintenance of the aqueducts was deprioritized in the face of larger existential threats, the water became infrequent and unreliable. This led to a cascading effect where even the grandest bathhouses could not sustain their operations. You imagine a scenario where an evening bath anticipated with the same fervor today as a luxurious spa retreat was suddenly canceled due to a lack of water, an occurrence that would perplex even the most jaded Roman noble. Interestingly, historians still debate whether it was purely economic strain or also a cultural shift away from communal bathing that marked the decline. As Christianity spread and its influence grew, with its ideals favoring modesty, the public baths lost their appeal to a society increasingly focused on spiritual over earthly pleasures. Some theorists suggest that the shift in religious belief played a critical yet understated role in altering how people perceived these once vital sanctuaries. It's a surprise, though, isn't it, that such a staple of life in the Roman Empire could be dissolved not only by the crumbling infrastructure, but by the shifting tides of human preference and belief. You walk among these silent colossi of marble and granite, your footsteps echoing through the grand arches that once captured the sounds of play and debate. As you do, you can't help but appreciate the irony a civilization known for its engineering prowess and cultural achievements, finding its legacy caught in the dual forces of technological decay and changing human priorities. And amidst all this, you realize that while the physical structures of the baths have faded with time, their spirit persists invisibly in the ways cities globally design their own public spaces. Like a gentle breeze, the influence of Roman innovation whispers through modern infrastructure, hinting at the cyclical nature of history. Perhaps it suggests that what we build today are but new echoes, waiting to sound in the halls of future ruins. You ponder this thought as you continue your quiet exploration through a city that was once the center of the world. The hustle and bustle of ancient Rome might be silent now, but in your mind's eye, you see them multitudes, relishing the tranquil escape that these waters once provided. Each forgotten nook and shadowy corner of these majestic ruins stirs with stories of those long gone lying in wait, to be imagined once more in the quiet of a starlit night. As the stars emerge softly in the growing dusk, you let out a contented sigh, deeply appreciating this tapestry of history that continues to shape the warp and weft of your present world. Ever so gently, you allow yourself to drift into a soothing contemplation, lulled by the silent echoes of Rome's bygone nights and dreams yet to be dreamt. As you find yourself standing on the cobblestones of an ancient Roman street, the steam rising softly from the cracks in the ground catches your attention. You draw nearer to the sound of gentle bubbling, the melody of water warmed by the earth. It's an inviting contrast to the somewhat brisk air around you, and the warmth draws you closer, beckoning you to explore further. You step cautiously inside a grand bathhouse, imagining the conversations that would have filled these walls centuries ago. The Romans were known for their elaborate bath complexes, where discussions flowed as readily as the warm water. With a hint of playful sarcasm, you wonder how they had time to conduct an empire between these social soaks and their infamous feasts. These were spaces not just for cleansing the body, but for nurturing the mind with ideas, exchanged as freely as the relaxing heat shifted through the baths. As your mind paints the scene of toga-clad Romans discussing philosophy or perhaps the latest amulet fashion trends, you recall the fact that early Christians, particularly the medieval monks, took a rather dim view of such indulgences. They deemed these baths as frivolous, aligned with vanity and immorality, much to the detriment of any social bathing opportunities in the centuries that followed. Who knew such peaceful pastimes could be so controversial? Yet, as history would have it, these public baths had left a lasting imprint. The Victorians, with their ever-curious mindset and burgeoning interest in wellness, found themselves rediscovering the benefits of warm communal waters. They delightfully revived the practice, albeit with their own characteristic prudence, bathing attires and all. Historians still debate whether this revival was more about the health benefits or simply a case of romanticizing the past as the Victorians were prone to do. Standing there in the echoes of history, you find it somewhat comforting to think that today's spas owe much to these ancient practices minus the togas, and lengthy philosophical debates, of course. In modern-day spas, the focus remains on tranquility and relaxation derived from the same principles that enchanted the Romans centuries ago. You walk further into this timeless sanctuary, and the air feels heavier with stories, as if each droplet of warm water holds a whisper from the past. The design of the bathhouse feels remarkably ahead of its time, with intricate mosaics lining the floors that gleam majestically under the dim lighting. These artistic pieces depict mythological tales that spark your imagination even further. The Romans delighted in these stories sometimes as much as in the good-natured gossip exchanged with fellow bathers. Outside, a gentle mist begins to cloak the evening while the inside remains redolent with the faint aroma of herbal oils once used to imbue the water with their healing properties. For the Romans, the bathhouse wasn't merely about hygiene. It was a celebration of senses touch, smell, sound, and even taste, as some emperors famously indulged in a feast or two while enjoying the baths. You could picture this kaleidoscope of experiences and how it subtly infiltrated the Victorian imagination, leading to the fascination that continues to this day. Reflecting on this immersive silliness, the monks' austerity, and the Victorians' peculiar interest in the past, you notice how society continuously oscillates between indulgence and restraint, never quite deciding where the perfect balance lies. This push and pull is part of what makes history so richly woven, a tapestry of choices and consequences, lessons learned, and sometimes forgotten, only to be rediscovered with fresh eyes. As you immerse yourself in these thoughts, the warm water seems to cradle you deeper into a state of reflection. You remember an unusual detail from your explorations. The Romans believed these baths cleansed the soul as well as the body, a notion that seems almost romantic in today's practical world. Yet perhaps it's not so outlandish. In a world that often demands much from you, the simple act of pausing, of allowing warmth and serenity to envelop you, could indeed feel like a rebirth of spirit. And so amid these musings, as the gentle splashes of water continue to paint soft echoes against the stone walls, you embrace this journey's end. The day unwinds like the last fragrant traces of steam rising from the baths, a soothing drift into night. In the slowing rhythm of your breath, the stories you've walked through, the lessons of history and humanity's enduring love affair with warm water, become a gentle lullaby of shared experiences. The soothing cadence of time's tide carries you softly, easing you into stillness, gently merging the narratives of old into the pulse of your contented rest. As the warmth diffuses through your being, you drift further towards a tranquil horizon where dreams and history's whispers blend seamlessly into peace. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to know where you're joining from, so drop your location and local time in the comments. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You close your eyes, still aware of the soothing warmth beneath you. The steam continues to dance in surreal patterns, inviting you to let go of the day's troubles. In this timeless place, the clamor of modernity fades away, replaced by an ancient hush that settles like mist. Your mind drifts drawn to a bustling market square from a bygone age. The air vibrates with the sounds of barter and banter, the language of trade, universal, despite time's passing. You linger here amid the scent of spices, cinnamon, cardamom, and saffron wafting richly from stalls. But your nose catches another hint, one less familiar, a rich, buttery aroma of early soap. Crafted from mixtures of olive oil and ash, it is the ancestor of today's luxury brands. It was the Byzantine and Roman empires that popularized public bathhouses just like this. These institutions were more than mere places to cleanse. They were epicenters of social life, where individuals discussed everything from politics to philosophy. Imagine Socrates himself, perhaps contemplating life's mysteries, while soaking in steamy pools, much like the one you now envision. Interestingly, historians still debate whether cleanliness or social interaction was the primary driver behind these grand establishments. Public baths offered an egalitarian space where rich and poor mingled with bizarre equality. Can you picture them amidst the steam, wrapped in nothing but their dignity and towels? The water you hear trickling could be drawn from the famed Roman aqueducts' marvels of engineering that brought life to cities, whispering tales of triumph along their carved stone paths. It's said that over ancient rooftops their arches soared like guardians of prosperity. The details of their precise construction elude us, though many mysteries linger in Roman achievements. As you float deeper into this world, the laughter that once reverberated seems to belong to a familiar group, a throng of diverse voices. Yet even in its familiarity, the language is distant, a reminder of history's ever-evolving narrative. Your mind paints a fresco of color drawn from the texts and images of yore. Visions of mosaics unfold, each tile placed with patience and precision, telling vibrant stories of distant lands and illustrious deeds. It's said that such artistry might have been a pastime of emperors the likes of Augustus, crafting his tranquil scenes, eternally preserved in stone. Unusual tales flutter by on this night wind, like one of Cleopatra, not just draped in power, but strolling these baths, indulging in both politicking and perfumed oils. Perhaps it wasn't beauty alone that commanded her presence, but her ability to weave politics and allure seamlessly together. Here in this ancient reflection, the soles of your feet remain warm on the tiles grounding you in this journey of the past. You are both traveler and guest, comforted by the harmonious blend of history's murmurs with the night's quiet. You drift further, lulled by soft sounds. The world around you is slow, forgiving in its ancient wisdom. The laughter and trickling water melt into a single soundscape, weaving a comfort blanket around your resting spirit. Steam rises in the half-light, a gentle shroud that bids you to dream in sync with the ancients. Just as they retreated to these sanctuaries to replenish both body and mind, you too find solace away from life's relentless hustle. Roam freely in this time, cradle your thoughts on tides of ancient wisdom, allowing each moment to stretch and unfurl like a cat in the sun. With a soft exhale, the world basks in a serene hush. Your journey into antiquity becomes a cozy nook, a shelter from all that is hectic and hurried. As from a lullaby, the tales wrap around you, snugly inviting your mind to ease into gentle slumber. You are entwined with history's embrace, cradled by the fervor of remembered lives. Here lies a sanctuary of warmth and whispers, a haven where your dreams merge seamlessly with those who came before. As the tale's echoes start to wane and the colors of thoughts dim, you rest easy, nestled within the fog-laden corridors of ages past. Let the warmth of the tiles remain, and the trickle of water lull your senses. Float softly now like a sigh on the night air. Just as the ancient world slowly retreats into shadows, you gently drift into a serene repose, a soft, enveloping rest.